The fluorescent lights in the office break room flickered as Sarah Chen stared at the broken coffee machine like it had personally betrayed her. As CEO of TechVision Solutions, she'd navigated hostile takeovers, board rebellions, and market crashes without breaking a sweat. But at 6:47 a.m., before her presentation to Japanese investors at 9, the sight of that silent, coffeeless machine felt like the universe's cruel joke. "Not today," she whispered, jabbing the power button with increasing desperation. "Please, not today." The machine remained stubbornly silent. Sarah's head throbbed. She'd been up until 3 a.m. perfecting her pitch, and now she'd have to face the most important meeting of her career running on fumes and yesterday's exhaustion. "Excuse me, ma'am." Sarah turned to find a man in navy work coveralls standing in the doorway, a toolbox in one hand. He looked to be in his early 40s, with kind eyes framed by laugh lines and calloused hands that spoke of years of hard work. His name tag read, Marcus, Facilities. "The machine's dead," Sarah said flatly. "IT said someone from Facilities would look at it." "That's me." Marcus set down his toolbox and approached the coffee machine with the careful attention of a surgeon examining a patient. He didn't ask permission or wait for instruction, just rolled up his sleeves and got to work. Sarah checked her watch. She should go back to her office, review her notes one more time, but something kept her rooted in place. Maybe it was the methodical way Marcus worked, or maybe it was simply that she was too tired to move. "You're here early," she observed. "Always am," Marcus replied, his attention never leaving the machine. "My daughter, Emma, catches the 5:30 a.m. bus to school. I drop her off, then head straight here." That's quite early for a kid to be heading to school. "She's in a special program across town. Advanced Sciences." The pride in his voice was unmistakable. "She wants to be an engineer. Builds things out of everything, cardboard, wire, whatever she can find around our apartment." He paused, tightening something inside the machine. "Her teacher says she's gifted, but the good programs, they're all far from where we live." Sarah watched as Marcus pulled out a small circuit board, examined it under the light, and began carefully cleaning the connections with a small brush from his toolkit. His movements were precise, almost elegant. "You know electronics?" she asked. "Know a bit about most things," Marcus said with a modest shrug. "When you're raising a kid on your own, you learn fast. Can't afford to call someone every time something breaks." The coffee machine suddenly hummed to life. Marcus smiled, not a proud, "look what I did" smile, but a quiet, satisfied one. "There we go." The thermal fuse was blown, and the circuit board connections were corroded. "Should work fine now." Sarah felt an unfamiliar tightness in her chest. When was the last time someone had simply helped her without wanting something in return? She pressed the brew button, and the machine began its familiar gurgling song. "Thank you," she said, meaning it more than Marcus could know. "Really? You have no idea what this means." "Just doing my job, ma'am." Marcus began packing up his tools. Sarah poured herself a cup, and on impulse, poured a second. "Please, have one. You earned it." Marcus hesitated, then accepted with a grateful nod. They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, two people sharing coffee before the chaos of the day began. "Your daughter," Sarah said suddenly. "What's her name again?" "Emma." "She's 12. Tough as nails, that one." His voice softened. "Had to be. Lost her mom 4 years ago. Cancer." "I'm so sorry." "Thank you. We make it work." Marcus took a sip of coffee. "Emma helps a lot. Sometimes I think she takes care of me more than I take care of her. She's the one who reminds me to eat, to sleep. Smart as a whip in 7 languages, too." Sarah nearly spit out her coffee. 7 languages? Marcus chuckled. "I know, sounds crazy. But when you work in a building like this, you hear everything. Started teaching myself languages during breaks, watching videos on my phone. Spanish, Mandarin, Japanese, French, German, Portuguese, Arabic. Then I'd teach Emma. Turned it into our thing, our way to travel the world without leaving our two-bedroom apartment. His eyes grew distant. Her mom and I always wanted to travel with her, show her the world. Guess this is the next best thing. Sarah stared at him, her executive brain suddenly firing on all cylinders despite the early hour. You speak Japanese? Hi, Tsukashi. Marcus smiled. Yes, a little. Enough to get by. Mandarin? Wahue shuaidian. I can speak a little. Sarah set down her coffee cup with a decisive click. The kind of click that preceded her best ideas. Marcus, I need to ask you something unusual. I have a meeting in 2 hours with investors from Japan and China. My interpreter called in sick last night. The backup agency won't have anyone here until this afternoon, which will be too late. You said you work here every day? Yes, ma'am. 5 days a week, sometimes 6. What if I told you I needed you for something other than fixing machines today? Marcus looked uncertain. I'm not sure I follow. Sarah pulled out her phone and called her assistant. David, I need you to clear something with HR immediately. Yes, I know what time it is. Call whoever you need to call. 20 minutes later, Marcus stood in Sarah's office, looking uncomfortable in a borrowed suit jacket that didn't quite fit his broader shoulders. He'd protested, said he wasn't qualified, that he'd surely mess it up. But Sarah had seen something in him, not just the languages, but a quiet dignity, an honesty that most of the people in her corporate world had polished away years ago. Just translate what I say, and what they say back, Sarah instructed. And be yourself. That's the most important part. The investors arrived promptly at 9. Mr. Tanaka and his team from Tokyo, and Mr. Wong and his associates from Shanghai. Sarah made her pitch with Marcus beside her, and something magical happened. He didn't just translate words, he translated meaning, context, feeling. He caught subtleties in their questions that her usual interpreters missed. When Mr. Tanaka made a cultural reference that would have been lost in direct translation, Marcus explained it with a warmth that made the older man smile with genuine pleasure. During the break, Sarah overheard Marcus speaking with Mr. Wong's daughter, who'd accompanied her father. She was young, perhaps Emma's age, and looked bored until Marcus started talking with her in Mandarin about her interests, robotics, as it turned out. Within minutes, they were laughing together, discussing circuit boards and programming languages. Mr. Wong approached Sarah with an impressed expression. Your interpreter is remarkable. Where did you find him? Sarah glanced at Marcus, who was now sketching something on a napkin for the young girl, some kind of simple robot design. He found me, she said truthfully. This morning, actually. He fixed my coffee machine. Mr. Wong's eyebrows rose, then his face broke into a genuine smile. A man of many talents. This is what we look for in partners, people who solve problems, who build bridges. Not just between languages, but between people. By the end of the meeting, Sarah had secured the investment, $80 million for the Asian expansion of Tech Vision Solutions. But more than that, she'd gained something unexpected, perspective. As the investors left, Sarah turned to Marcus, who was already loosening the borrowed tie like it was strangling him. You were incredible. Thank you doesn't even begin to cover it. Glad I could help, ma'am. He started to take off the jacket. Wait. Sarah sat down, gestured for him to do the same. Marcus, I want to offer you a position. Head of International Communications. It would mean coordinating with our global offices, working with translators, helping us understand not just words but cultures. The salary would be. I appreciate it, Ms. Chen, really. But I'm happy where I am. I like fixing things, keeping this building running.